What are you guys selling?
I will sell this house today.
This is the Real Life and Real Estate Podcast with your hosts, Rachel and Colleen. Real life real estate agents who discuss real life and real estate. Really.
Good morning and welcome to our podcast. This is our brand spanking new podcast called Real Life and Real Estate. We are real life real estate agents who talk about real life and real estate. Really. I'm Rachel. This is Colleen.
Yes. Nice to meet everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We are at a pretty spectacular house.
We are. Tell us a little bit about it, Colleen.
For the low price of $749,500, you can buy this property that was perfected by a Hillsborough native and longtime builder. It's a little over 3,600 square feet. It's on a little more than 10 acres, and it abuts the little river. The view from in here,
it's amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
It's so serene, so peaceful, and you're only 6 miles to the heart of Hillsborough, which
I think is the perfect little American quaint small town here in North Carolina. So I love it.
We want to thank Charlene for letting us.
Charlene. She's over there listening to
hang out in her beautiful house today.
So let's talk about actual real estate problems and things that we have encountered. That's what we're going to talk about in the podcast in general. Both our real life experiences as real estate agents and just real life in general as working moms and businesswomen.
That's right. Who love our community.
If that sounds good to you, subscribe and tell your friends.
And their friends.
So first of all, we want to talk about condos and some problems that both Colleen and I have encountered with condo buyers.
In the past few months.
Recently.
Yeah.
And the problem that I've been encountering is non-warrantable condos, which means a lot of people, even listing agents, they look at you like you have 3 heads when you ask, is the condo warrantable? They don't know. But buyers find out when they go through the loan underwriting process. It takes that long for it to be found out. It basically means that the HOA of the condo association is not meeting the requirements for the condo to be, the mortgage to be sold on the secondary market. So surprise, surprise, you've gotten through appraisal, inspections, everything. Your buyer has spent all this money and bam, can't get a loan on it. It's bad.
It's not fair. But now maybe just some gossip.
Gossip?
HOA embezzlement.
Oh, yes. This is actually more than gossip. There is a story in the news right now, locally. In Garner, there was a major HOA that got caught with their hands in the cookie jar. This is really bad. File this under reason 157 why I hate HOAs as a real estate agent and as just a human. So the headline is $500,000 plus possibly stolen from 29 HOAs in Wake and Johnson counties, police say. So this is an HOA management company that manages many HOAs across the counties. So it's the name of the management company is Cornerstone with a K. Cornerstone Community Management, and employees have had their hand in the cookie jar, and it's going to affect, and this is the sad thing, it's going to affect 29 communities. They're not going to have their HOA funds that they've paid faithfully into every month to do, maintenance on the grounds, in some instances, if it's like a townhome community, maintenance on the exterior and roofs and, sidewalks and things. And then now all of a sudden there's no money for that. And then, a lot of them you might expect to run into the same issue that we've had with condos is now the HOA is missing all this money.
Bankrupt, right.
So, their loans possibly you need to really be careful about whether those loans can be sold on the secondary market, because a lot of lenders are expecting that. When they make a loan, they're expecting to be able to sell it immediately. And if they can't, you won't get financing. So, I mean, this is something that you've got to be very, very aware of.
A lot of due diligence goes into play when you are looking to buy in an HOA community. So that's to have something your agent's supposed to do for you. But you know, a lot of that stuff is found online as well. So definitely be proactive and learn a little bit about the HOA governing the community.
Yeah, pay attention to those documents and the balance sheets and everything, because, I mean, it could affect whether or not you can get the house, the townhouse or the condo.
That's right.
Yeah, so, but I mean, it's tricky to know if your HOA is in this situation, but I did find online, there's some warning signs of embezzlement for your HOA. You want to look for, and I don't know, do buyers even have access to like checks written to individuals, not the association? You know, this kind of detailed information, like really getting into the books. Some of this is like beyond due diligence.
Well, it is, but at the same time, as a homeowner, I mean, this is stuff to look out for as well.
Yeah.
If you're living in a community with an HOA.
Yeah, you need to get involved.
Be aware, absolutely.
HOA checks are made out to association members. People writing the checks to themselves, hiring themselves to perform services. That's one thing to watch out for. You also want to watch out for new vendors or big price increases for the current vendors. It could be a sign that the vendor is overcharging or someone is getting a kickback. Fees paid to unqualified service providers, dummy companies.
Right.
You want to look out for that. Big decreases in revenue on the balance sheet. That's probably something that you could find out. And just all kinds of things. I'm going to put a link to this in the show description so you can see. So that's how to tell if it's happening, but how do you prevent it? I have a document on that too. I won't go all the way through it because it's kind of dry.
Well, and I haven't read it, but I mean, I kind of have a guess. Can I kind of guess what you can do? Especially as someone, I mean, I know you don't live in an HOA.
No.
I mean, I live in an HOA, and I mean, I say get involved and know your...
Are you the president?
No.
Why aren't you the president?
I'm not, but I have actually talked to the president about filling her spot, but
Sure.
which she is excited about. So, yeah, just know who your officials are in the HOA.
Is it the kind of thing where you better go to the meetings, otherwise they're going to make you treasurer?
Right. No. But yeah, is that one of the ways to kind of protect yourself from...
Yeah, absolutely. Get involved, know the personalities. I mean, that takes a lot of work.
It does.
And time. 158 why I don't like HOAs. One thing that's interesting about you and me, our relationship, is that Colleen was my realtor when I bought my personal house. Yeah,
that was when she moved back from DC, right?
Yeah, I had let my license lapse for the second time. So I was in real estate a long time ago, but then I came back to this area, not as a real estate agent, and Colleen, because, I mean, where else am I going to go?
That's right. And we just hit it off and found her a beautiful ranch in North Raleigh, if I can say. I mean, on 2 acres. It's gorgeous, and what they've done with it since they bought it.
Yeah. We've done a lot.
And
we knew we were buying
perfect.
a project house, but...
No, I love it.
Yeah, I love it too.
One of my favorites still to this day.
But yeah, that was one of the criteria that we were looking for, is we really strongly prefer no HOA. But if we do fall in love with a house and there is an HOA, I am going to be the president.
Right.
Dang it.
Right.
But maybe we should even talk about what is an HOA and what do they do. Maybe we should back it up and just explain.
Like on this show?
Yeah.
Or at the next...
Oh, should we save that for later? We'll save
I
that
think
for later.
so.
Okay.
And you know what? I'm going to write that down in my notes.
Okay.
Because I think that's very important. A lot of people don't know why. I know, Rachel is not fond of HOA, but I know a lot of people do. They look for communities with HOAs, and there's reasons why some people love them and some people don't. So
yeah, well, some people love them because they tell your neighbors, your problem neighbors, to mow their grass. And some people don't like them because the HOA tells you to mow your grass.
That's right.
So I am that neighbor. Sometimes.
Well, and that's definitely, there are a lot of ways that HOAs are both great and at the same time a pain. So I think that'll be a good topic for a show.
We'll talk about that later. But they can support your housing values because
keep market values.
They keep the neighborhood nice. I mean, there is that.
Well, speaking of houses that don't sell and why.
Is that what we were talking about?
I think we were talking
We're
about.
transitioning.
That's right.
Transitioning to strange reasons that houses don't sell. Now, there's all kinds of reasons that houses don't sell. They could be overpriced. They could be in a not so ideal location. Could be, the schools are not great. But there's all kinds of things that some properties just have to overcome. But this
is crazy. Again, another local story.
Yeah, this is a local real estate related story in the news. Raleigh man fed up after house hit by car for the sixth time. I mean, once is
I think enough.
As many years. Yeah, so like once a year on average, his house gets plowed into by a car. So Carlo Bernarte is on the verge of abandoning his home to save his family. Early Saturday morning, this past week, his property in Raleigh was hit by a driver for the sixth time. And this happened like in the wee hours, so we think a little bit of intoxication might have been involved, but still. And I looked it up on Google Maps, and it's not like a hairpin curve or anything. I can't figure out just by looking at it.
Really?
Yeah. It looks like what happens is the cars come around this slight curve, and maybe they're taking it too fast and they're drunk, and they plow into the little community sign. It's like a stone wall sign for the community, and they plow into it. It doesn't. I don't know if they actually
go through the house,
hit the house.
Okay.
If they're not going fast enough, but they plow into this sign, and that's scary enough. So this guy, he's been complaining to the Department of Transportation, and they do these little Band-Aid fixes for him that don't work. Like they put up reflectors and the guardrail, but nothing seems to be preventing these cars from crashing into his house. He has lost his homeowner's insurance. That house is not insurable. So guess what? It's not sellable either. So he's stuck. He's paid for this house. He's probably got a mortgage, and he's just thinking at this point that he's just going to walk away just for his family's safety.
Right.
That's horrible.
It is horrible. I mean, you buy a property and you hope with the hopes that one day you're going to be able to sell it.
And it's a cute house too. It looks like, a nice 3-bedroom, 2-bath, not very old.
Right.
Single family home, and it's got this problem. So
as a buyer, if you have an agent and say you were to stumble upon this house and you had no idea of the history, it's not a material fact that the seller let us know that it has problems with cars.
Are you sure it's not material?
I'm pretty darn sure.
If the house is not insurable?
Well, but that's something that you doing your due diligence, you would find out.
Yeah.
So that's how you would be alerted that there's an issue. Whether or not that's a material fact. I know material facts sometimes, if someone died in your house, that's not a material fact.
It's not, unless there's some damage to the property because of the body. Oh, we learned about this horrible case in my real estate. I'm in a post-licensing class now about a woman who died in her house and they didn't discover it for a month. And the decaying body, oozed fluids into the floor and the subfloor, and they had cleaned it up, but it was still in the subfloor.
Oh my gosh.
So at that point it becomes a material fact, but because it was underneath the flooring, it was a latent material defect.
Right.
Yeah, so they couldn't have known.
Right, and they didn't know that they were doing anything
wrong.
I
think that went to court or is going to court or something, but you can't make this stuff up.
Well, you want to know what is a material fact?
What?
Meth houses.
Yes. And I know how to tell a meth house.
How?
It smells like 200 cats when you walk in. It's got this strong ammonia smell, but not just, somebody needs to scoop out the litter, but strong, gaggingly 200 cats smell.
Yeah.
And a lot of staining on the flooring from the chemicals.
Well,
used.
and tell everyone what you do to fix a meth house.
Bulldoze it.
That's
pretty
right.
much. There's like almost no way to remediate that. They can try a few things, but I mean, it's not like a new paint and carpet kind of fix.
That's right.
It's like it is in the house.
Well, and it's still a very volatile house.
Yeah.
With any of those chemicals lingering. I mean,
Yeah.
you could have a serious problem, not just health issues, but I mean, can't a house blow up or something? You know what I mean?
I don't think
like, isn't it? No?
I don't think it can like actually blow up. I don't think there's
Okay.
anything flammable.
Maybe
left
that's just a movie. I'm recalling a movie clip or something.
Wow. Yeah. No, I mean meth houses blow up because like the active chemicals.
That's right.
You know, but yeah, I've heard stories where it's a meth house and there's just no fix and you bulldoze it and now you've got a building lot.
Oh gosh.
Horrible.
I know. It is. So
Bad.
take care of your property.
Yeah, and pay attention to smells.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. If it doesn't feel right, if it doesn't smell right, there's probably a reason.
Yeah, and I took buyers into this house a couple weeks ago, and there was this thick cigarette smell. And I'm like, the first thing we're going to do, if you like this house, which they didn't, but the first thing we would do is new paint and carpet. And I left that in the feedback, and the agent said, they've already done new paint and carpet.
Right.
And the smell was that strong.
I will tell you, though, I have had someone go the distance with new paint, new carpet, new floors. They had the HVAC cleaned, and it's still, and he wanted this house so bad. He did everything he possibly could, and still, when I go see him, I smell cigarette smoke.
Don't smoke in your house.
Right. No, and that's what I tell people. I mean, I tell clients that if you smell smoke, cigarette smoke, there's a good chance it will always linger.
Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. If you're a smoker, get a nice screened-in porch.
Right?
So that my buyer doesn't have to
Go stand at the way back of your property.
Or better yet, quit.
Right. That's a good point.
It's not good for you.
So Rachel was telling me a story the other day. Houses about sellers that were having their septic cleaned, right?
Oh my gosh, did I tell this story?
You did.
Yeah, okay. But just to let you know, anybody who's listening, when we tell stories, we're not going to give out any identifying information. We're going to protect the
It wasn't at my house and it wasn't at Rachel's house.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Okay. So, how to get caught having an affair by your septic guy. So, yeah, that's the foreshadow. Okay. So, house is under contract, and they're doing the inspections process. They send out somebody to inspect the septic tank. The husband is the only one home at the time.
The husband, the seller.
The seller, owner of the property. Wife is off at work somewhere. And so the septic guy comes in after the inspection and says, well, everything looks good, no problems, but I do got to tell you, sir, you need to stop flushing condoms down the toilet. And the husband says, we don't use condoms.
Oh, that gives me goosebumps.
I know, right?
I think about the septic guy. Oh my gosh, he probably wanted to run for the hills.
Oh yeah, he just told this man information that was not.
It seems like it was the perfect time for them to put their house on the market.
Yeah.
Because
Glad the papers were already signed.
that's right.
Wow. So yeah, that's how he found out that his wife was having an affair.
Come on, people.
You can't make this stuff up.
I know.
That's why this podcast is going to be so interesting, is because we're going to tell you the ins and the outs and the gory details and like how it really is. And in the intro music, I put that
I heard.
quote from
It
American
sounds
Beauty,
good.
that real estate agent. I will sell this house today. I will sell this house today. I put that because I have to laugh because
Yeah.
I think some people think that that's what real estate is really like. Is it just exactly like that, Colleen?
Not even close, actually.
Well, I mean, the funny thing is about that clip is that she's a listing agent.
Mm-hmm.
She's just so desperate to sell this house, but it's like you can just kind of feel that she's got this mentality that she's gonna talk some poor sucker into buying this house.
Which, let's face it, in the seller's market that we're in right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's hell no problem.
lot
She's
easier than
she's like in Ohio, I don't know, or whatever.
But
But yeah, I mean, houses here are selling like hotcakes, which brings me to the next point is that's not really what we do.
That's right. We don't sell houses. We show houses.
Yeah.
Houses should sell themselves.
Exactly.
So,
the house sells the house, not us. We take you into a house and let you look around, and if it's a match, it's a match. But I mean, the proper job of a real estate agent is to take all of your criteria and match it to a property that has those selling points, and just stand back and then facilitate the process.
That's right. And also, I think buyer's agents I love what I do so much because I pride myself in when I go into a property, and I tell my clients this all the time, you're the heart of the operation. I'm the brains of the operation. Now, I'm not a home inspector, but I can absolutely come in and point out red flags that I see, either for resale or just red flags in general. Stained ceilings, indicating a leak. And that is really our job.
Cracks in the wall, foundation
That's
problems.
right. We're not the one that comes in when we're showing our clients' houses to say, oh, this house is incredible. I mean, that's up to you to decide. We're taking the objective kind of the fine-tooth comb through the property to see if there's anything that we see that we need to alert or make you aware of.
Yeah, sometimes I go into a house with a buyer and they're like, aren't you going to show it to me? It's like, you know where the kitchen is.
That's right.
You can tell.
Or maybe, we probably haven't even been there. It's not our listing.
Yeah.
So.
Or like that agent in Atlanta on HGTV where she opens the door and she lets the buyers go in.
Right.
He's like, I'll just wait out here. You guys, look around, talk it over. Now, I don't know that that's probably not too advisable as far as if you don't trust your buyers completely. Pick through stuff.
There's that. There's another topic for another time.
Buyers who steal. Which I've never had. All of the people that I work with are saints.
I know.
Every single one of them.
Well, that's why you want to come work with us, because our clients are all
amazing. Yeah. We have the best clients.
Well, and in addition to talking about real estate on this podcast, we want to talk about real life, and we're really active in our communities. We're moms of young kids, and
it's coming up late August, which you know what that means.
Back to school.
Ooh.
So all the things, every back to school means something different to everyone. Something that's really near and dear to my heart, in addition to our teachers and our public schools. What's near and dear to my heart are our teachers and our public schools. Well, something that's really cool that Durham Realtors do every year is we have a Fill the Bus campaign at a local school. And I got to go yesterday, and it's a meeting that we have just among us realtors, but we also have guests come in. Like yesterday was Hugh Austin, the Deputy Superintendent of Operational Services of Durham Public Schools, to kind of talk to us about the bond referendum that's going to be coming up that we'll need to vote on in November. So all of the important aspects of that. And then, but more importantly is this Fill the Bus campaign. Where
I don't know anything about it. My son is entering kindergarten, so this is like a whole new world to me.
Yeah. So all teachers in all schools in the country, I think it's safe to say, are pretty strapped and
I do know that.
under-supported and underfunded, underpaid. So this Fill the Bus campaign is super cool and they have lots of drop locations around the community where you see a big sign that says Fill the Bus, you bring in school supplies, and they donate those either directly to teachers or this company, this nonprofit called Crayons to Calculators.
Teachers are supplying their own classrooms out of their own pockets.
That's right. When they show up in their classroom in the beginning of the year, the classroom's essentially empty. Right.
Yeah.
And they're using their funds, which they already don't get much of, to fill their classroom, stock their classroom. Not to mention the kids whose, parents can't necessarily afford to get everything on their list, on their back to school list, which is so heartbreaking. But campaigns like this, the Fill the Bus and the Crayons to Calculators, it's, these events that really help us to donate money or donate resources to these beloved teachers and the public schools, in general. So that was really enlightening yesterday, and it's such a good cause to be able to go and write a check or drop off supplies in a school bus before you go to a board meeting.
That's our show for today. We're going to have links to everything we talked about, and of course, if you have any questions, if we just went way over your head, which we're really smart ladies. We do that.
It's true.
I'm kidding. But yeah, ask us any questions, and just feel free to share this for anyone who thinks it might be interesting. We're going to put the audio version on iTunes. It will be on iTunes.
Great idea.
And we're hoping to do one of these every couple weeks or so.
That's right. So thank you so much. Stay tuned. If there's anything you want to hear about, jot it down and let us know. We'd be happy to talk about what you want to hear about.
Yeah, what do you want to know about? That's right. All right. Thank you for watching or listening. Bye.
This has been Real Life and Real Estate with Rachel and Colleen. Thank you for your attention.
Quit wasting my time.